Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the new Marvel Legends Strong Guy Wave SUNSPOT figure. And I'm a sucker for characters with the solid black skin and the bright colored outfits. I've always enjoyed that, and this one is trying to get me to like it, but it's also doing as much as it can to get me to not that's not true, that's a bit harsh. It's doing some things to get me to not like it also. But this guy does stand out. I mean, just the contrast between the bright colors and the solid black, it just looks really sharp, and it's something you don't see every day. And so I'm partial toward the character design, but the figure itself, it only does a few things pretty well. So let's go ahead and just talk about it. Let's get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 16.5 centimeters, which makes it pretty close to about 6.5 inches. And I am having the hardest time remembering what other Marvel Legends character figure had the solid black skin with the bright coloring. Was that... Oh my gosh, it's a Hasbro figure from back when Hasbro very first started. Is it like Marvel Girl? That's not even a person, is it? I can't think of the name. Whatever, or the figure. It's right there. Anybody know? Let me know. Anyway, this is mostly Bucky Cap, and people always say after I complain about something on a Bucky Cap figure, but you said Bucky Cap was a good mold, and you like Bucky Cap, and blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, it is good for a Marvel Legends figure, but that doesn't mean it doesn't have problems, and doesn't mean the problems are getting exacerbated every time they use that mold, or making me notice them more, or whatever the case may be. It is a good mold, mostly. It has the right overall shape to it, but it still has really tiny thighs compared to the lower legs, which is even more obvious on this guy because he's got these super fat ankles. Look how thick his ankles are compared to his thighs. They're almost the same size. His legs are so tubular and stilty. The musculature in specific areas is nice, but it's just so weird looking to have such fat ankles. And we've had figures with skinny ankles, lots of them. It's not like it can't be done, so I don't quite understand what the deal is. That being said, the paint job on this guy for what it is pretty clean. The yellow is not bad at all. The blue to red line is mostly pretty clean. Same thing up here. The black areas are painted clean. More yellow is good. It's pretty nice. We do have a new upper torso here, which I like it. It's not perfect, and it looks to me like it was done with symmetry on, so like when they're sculpting it, so you get the exact same muscle striations on both sides. If you're gonna do that, at least tone them down a little bit, but it's still a pretty nice... It has a much more organic feel to it than the traditional Bucky Cap mold, or most of their other molds, in fact. You can see whoever did it knew what they were doing. They did set the shoulders back a little bit on the torso, so that's nice. It's a very nice overall sculpt there. They did have this extra piece which needed to be connected in. It gets pegged in and glued in, and this side is very nice. It fits clean and that looks fine. This side, it's like they didn't even try, and it's glued like that, so I'm gonna have to do some magic to get that to get in there properly. So that's a little bit weird. Head sculpt is okay. It's not great. He looks kind of poofy in the eyebrow region, but it's not bad. It's okay. And here's something that does irk me a little bit. I like these bubbles, but remember all those times they put capes on figures and thought it was really important to make the cape removable so the cape didn't sit properly and it wasn't glued in? These are glued in. Why? Something like this doesn't need to be glued in. I mean, I don't have a problem with it being there, but the fact that they won't glue the capes no matter what, and then something like this is it's permanently there, when I would prefer the option to take it off, but that's just weird to me that they do that. It's not like you need Magneto walking around without his cape, you know? Capes make everybody cooler, especially characters that are supposed to have them. Let's put the capes on properly and glue them. The bubbles, I don't think anybody gives two poops about the bubbles, but the bubbles are glued in. So, I don't know, maybe they only had enough budget for the bubbles to be glued in, none of the capes ever in the history of Marvel Legends, but that's what we got. So either way, it is an aesthetically pleasing figure. Yes, long legs aside, big fat ankles aside, it does look pretty cool. It's gonna stand out. Why am I so far zoomed in? It's gonna stand out on the shelf. I'm gonna give it an 8. They put a decent amount of effort into the paint. I do like the new sculpt. The neck thing is done mostly well. Most people probably won't have the issue I have. It's pretty good, okay? The legs and calves need to change. They need to fix that issue. But it still is good otherwise, so that's a pretty high rating. Okay, now as far as accessories go, I know you guys are going to be very excited to see we finally get some nice bubble effects that we've never seen 1,000 times before, and that's very good. It just barely clips onto the wrist effectively. It's very hard to use in any proper way, and so it's an awesome accessory. 10 out of 10 for the accessories. I think they should just use this one as much as possible. Use it more on all the figures as far as I'm concerned. It's a great accessory. 20 out of 10. There's 2 of them. 20 out of 10 for the accessories. All right, on to the articulation. How's the head work inside that collar? Shouldn't really be an issue. It can look up, except the bubbles get in the way. It can look down if he wants to sniff his own collar, and you probably won't want to do that. It does rotate side to side. Any attitude? Not really, because the head sits so nicely on that neck. There's no room there. With this kind of articulation, if the head sits exactly right, you're not going to really get any leaning. You can see just the tiniest little bit, so that's to be expected. How do the shoulders work on this new trunk? Pretty good, just better than horizontal. That is fine. Full rotation, bubbles will flex out of the way, so that's pretty good. We do get our bicep swivel. They still haven't painted any pegs. I get that that kind of plastic is hard to paint, but also it's not like it's rubbing on anything, so throw some paint on there. That'd be nice. How's our elbow? Our elbow works just fine. We do have our wrist swivel and hinge. Ab crunch goes pretty far back. Pretty gappy, ugly mess there, but we've seen a lot worse, so that's probably okay. Still doesn't go that far forward. By the way, those of you who say on figures when it doesn't go that far forward that if you just force it until it goes, it'll go farther, yes, you can break your figures, but we don't review them based on that. We review them based on how they come in the package, rather than what happens when you break them past their limits. Waist twist is a waist twist. Hips are still the same hips as before, so there's nothing really special going on there. Thigh swivel is very swivelly. The knees have really nice range. We do have our shin swivel right there. Gosh, they really didn't do a good job sculpting these lower legs at all. Ankles still go all the way back and all the way forward, and he still has little baby feet. Little baby feet. And so the articulation on this guy is pretty average. I'll give it a 7. Nothing special at all here. Nothing great. Nothing too egregious. 7 seems fair to me. So, final verdict on this guy. It does look good for a Marvel Legends figure. Is it sorely lacking a wash or some dry brushing? Yes. Does it look very plasticky? Yes. Is it a Marvel Legends figure? Yes. So, I don't think we can expect all that much from them. Does that make it okay? Not really, but you knew it going in. Unless you've been under a rock for the last 20 years. So for a Marvel Legends figure, this one looks pretty good. The accessories are exceptionally good, and the articulation is fine. So I'm going to give it an overall rating for Marvel Legends standards. 8. That's being probably a little generous, but 8. The colors on here, they did a good job painting them. We don't often get clean paint, and this one is very clean. Maybe they're stepping it up, I don't know. But I'm giving it a very generous 8. So there you go, guys. Let me know how you feel about the figure. And if you liked the review, you can do that by clicking the thumbs up button or the thumbs down button. And if you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button. And then click the bell. And then click the little tick mark box circle thingy that says I want to know everything all the time. And then click the other thing. And then sign up for the Social Security giveaway program where... oh, don't worry about it. They'll tell you what to do. Just click all the things, and then you can come back because I have new videos every single day, almost. And for the days I don't, thousands and thousands and thousands of videos already on the channel. So come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.